Let's get started right away. It's about Zoho Schools of Learning, and I'm here to talk to you about. Many people call it a crusade, and it's something that's really close to our heart. For the past 15 years, we've been doing this, and it is about this academic credentialism, the degrees, the unnecessary artificial importance we attach to those certificates, while practical learning on the field is probably much, much more important. So, I'm going to talk to you about how it works and why it works. First, a quick note on Zoho itself. It's a company from Chennai in Tamil Nadu, and we've been around for 25 years now. And our software is a toolkit, a suite of products that work beautifully together to help companies run their business online. We have 50 million users around the world, and we are around 10,000 employees in Chennai. As Zoho Schools, we have been operating for 15 years now. More than 22 faculty members work with us. Most of them also do work at Zoho. Day to day, they are professionals. They are designers and developers and marketers at Zoho. They also spend time working with the students at Zoho Schools. That's something unique about them. We will learn about it shortly. More than 850 alumni. It's going to be 1,000 this year. Almost all of them continue to work at Zoho and impart knowledge to the juniors who join in. There are 4 specializations. I'll tell you a little more about it. We have one school in Chennai and another school for the past 6 years now in Tenkasi. There were 3 reasons we really started Zoho Schools. It was called Zoho University at that time. It was a philosophy, a necessity, and a realization. What was the philosophy? Nothing deep, actually. It started with a coffee conversation, and we started asking some folks, and we started getting some unusual answers. So we thought, let's make it formal. And we polled all the 3,000, 4,000 employees we had at that time. We asked them this question: how useful do you find your college education for the role you're currently playing? We see education as a continuous progression from generic education we get to a technical education and then to a lifelong career in that technology or domain. That's probably a pipe dream. That's not really the case, because this is what we heard as answers. Yes, some of them said it was really useful, but most of them had answers like these. Across the countryside, the length and breadth of the country, top ranking colleges as well as colleges that were very new in the landscape, this was the feedback we got. And this was in 2004. What is it in 2020? This is what Elon Musk is saying. When he announced about a new role in artificial intelligence programming at Tesla, people asked him, how do I apply? How many PhDs do I need? It's definitely not required. All that matters is a deep understanding, is what he said. I don't care if you even graduated high school. It is just that we came to this realization 15 years earlier, luckily for us. You will know what the reason is in the next 2 slides. He continues, do you still stand firmly? Of course, he says. And just last week, Google came out with this. I'm not sure how many of you noticed. Google says, we are launching a college diploma equivalent. $49 per month for the next couple of months, and you will be as qualified from the eyes of Google and so many other companies that have partnered with us as a 4-year college graduate is. Times are changing. So what was the necessity? That was the philosophy. What was the necessity? We were called Wembu Systems at that time, and then we became AdventNet. You will notice we have used Comic Sans font for AdventNet. We were that fledgling a company, just getting started, not really recognized, and so we weren't sought after. Tier 1 colleges didn't invite us for placement. IITs and IIMs didn't even know of our existence. So we had to find talent. Talent didn't want to find us. So that was the necessity. There were no first day placements. Suburban institutes, we went into the boondocks, tried searching for, is there a college who will even acknowledge us as a company up and coming and give us their resume? Word of mouth was the primary way of recruitment. Friends and relatives recommending that here is a company that's trying to do something interesting. Thirdly, there was a realization, a sense of helplessness. Most of our managers, when they recruited from those colleges and started looking at those researchers who had just joined them, they realized there was starting trouble. Did this boy learn anything at all at college? They are supposed to have a degree in computer science, 4 years in IT. But I am forced to train them for 6 more months before they become productive. When will they become productive was the question. So what's missing? There seems to be something wrong. When we went to Quora, as recently as a month ago, just to confirm that things haven't changed still, unfortunately, these were the answers we got at Quora for this question. How are students in Indian colleges taught programming? We are shocked at the answers. Look at the answers. We are taught programs, not programming. How to solve this problem, not the art of problem solving. We are asked to do it in paper first before we switch the computer on. Heinous sin. The pay scale being what it is, if you're really good in programming, you wouldn't be teaching it. You would rather be implementing it for some foreign company and earning in dollars. That's the sad truth, sorry state. And it's almost a racket. Projects and turnkey, you pay money, we will give you a project and you can submit it and get your degree. Illegal tie-ups and so on. True even today. So you can imagine how the state would have been 15 years ago. Outdated syllabus. So these were the 3 seeds that we watered: the philosophy, the necessity, and the realization. So what did we do? We banked on Einstein and Gandhi. Einstein said the same thoughts can't lead you to the solutions. You have to think differently. And Gandhi said, don't keep bitching about what's happening around the world. Try to be the change. So our CEO, you saw him in the video a while ago, he said, why don't we start something within our company? That's what we did. We had great, amazing, big plans, but we said, let's start small. We went to a nearby school. We recruited some 6-7 students after administering a test in mathematics and English and the local language Tamil. They didn't have too many other options. They didn't have engineering or medical as an opportunity for them because economically they weren't really capable of affording those high cost degrees. We chose 3 subjects: English, mathematics, and programming or software engineering. Who were the faculty? Faculty were employees within the organization wanting to pay something back to society, give something back to the next generation of engineers coming out. So that's how it started, and I'll take you through very quickly some random profiles of students, alumni as we see them today, 15 years on. This is Vijay Kumar. Not only teach, but became our co-learners. He is now a senior system administrator. Abhisha, just last year she graduated. Parents were still iffy about it, but never hesitate to ask questions even if they seem embarrassing at first. Again, last year pass out. He is from Bihar. He was working in Delhi. He saw my answer in Quora, and then he came down, cracked the exam, joined, and now he is working in Zoho Labs, a high technology, cutting edge research project. This is Tangam from the School of Design. This is Ritika from the School of Business. Taught me to value collaboration than competition. How important that is in today's times. crafting stories, fascinated by user education. She is now in the Zoho Partners team. This guy is a hacker. Even before he joined Zoho, he was hacking Python. He was trying to be finding out how to not pay for something that he has to actually pay for. Right? Hacking is usually on the gray line between right and wrong, good and bad. He is now a security analyst securing Zoho's applications. This is Mani Maran from Tenkasi. He learned from video conferencing from Chennai. Long before COVID, we already had classes that ran on video conferencing. He's also a sportsman, as his photograph will be giving away. This is Al Shefan from a rural area near Tuticorin. He was a diploma in mechanical engineering before he joined us. So what goes on really? How does this work? I'll take an example. This is Sri Lata. The name has been changed. She is from a rural background. That's her parents. We visit her school. We administer a test. It's in English as well as in Tamil because there are these language barriers. Sometimes English isn't as prevalent as you think in the interiors of the state. There is a deep interview that's conducted, again in native tongue, where we try to understand whether you have it in you to last the course and be a productive employee in the company, whether you have that fire in the belly. Classes happen. There are theory classes as well as practical classes. Look at this practical class, for example. She is actually helping a junior out. A student from the next batch is being helped here. You help, you learn by teaching. The best way to learn, perhaps. Then a year in, she is interviewed for placement in the team. You become embedded for your second half of your journey through Zoho Schools. You are embedded as an employee, as an intern in the company's various teams. There are 57 different teams in our company now across the length and breadth of the software landscape. The guidance and counseling continues. One of the most important bits of guidance we give you is how to handle money. Because from day one, you're being given a stipend of 10,000 rupees. You're already earning at a time when all your classmates from school are paying fees. You're earning. And then a year in, which means 2 years after starting Zoho Schools, you're a full-blown employee at Zoho Corporation. That's your offer letter, and you're off to an amazing adventure at Zoho. There's a lot of fun too. That's the Dean of Zoho Schools. He's now retired, playing carom board. That's the CEO in a white t-shirt, second from right, dancing and playing cricket. So that's what goes on at Zoho Schools. These are our various heads of the institutions. From left, Uma. She's a senior statistician. Before she joined us, she was a professor. She's now heading Zoho School of Technology in Chennai. Anand, researcher, engineer, graduate from IIT and Texas A&M, professor at Amrita University, now joined Zoho and heads Zoho Tenkasi. Manoj wanted to give something back to society so early in life. I am still surprised and jealous about him. He heads the School for Advanced Study at Zoho. Jayendra Babu, who is, I keep asking, where is your sixth finger? Because he is an artist and a cartoonist. He is a practicing professional at Zoho as a very senior designer. He teaches and heads the School of Design. And Ruby, Vijay Ruby is her name. She heads the School of Business. She is the most recent entrant into the Zoho Schools. This is what happens to a typical school kid. Every year after finishing class 12 or the equivalent in a diploma, first year, second year, third year, fourth year, you pay through your nose. You pay. And then at the end of the fourth year, you're at the crossroads. Will I get a job? Where do I get a job? How do I even appear for an interview during these COVID times? What are they going to do? That's a question mark. Compare that with the growth path of a Zoho University student or a Zoho Schools graduate. From day one, he or she starts getting a stipend, which has a bump up halfway down. and then a second bump up. By the end of 2 years, you're already an employed professional in the company. Compare that. Compare. Green means you're earning, pink means you are spending. That's the boy-girl ratio in our past 15 years. The boys have been a little more in number. What makes it tick? I'll give you 20 reasons why it ticks. Here is reason number 1. There is no compulsion that you should attend a course. If you think you already know it, if you think the teacher is anyway transferring information I can learn from an online course or Google, be my guest. Don't disturb the others. No need to attend classes. Oh, here is another. No exams. We are not going to evaluate you on one particular day, give you a question paper, take your phone away from you, keep a clock in front of you and say, do these. I'll mark you, I'll score you, I'll rank you. No. Because we realize whenever there is a system and that is perceived as unfair by the student will spend more energy cracking the system, breaking the system, finding a way to work around the system rather than live through the system and succeed. So we said no system, no attendance, no exams. It also became a constant pressure on the student because the student is in constant observation. So there are no exams. Who are the teachers? We didn't pick them from some college, evaluate them based on their degrees and take them in. They are practicing professionals. Some of them chose to quit their ongoing job and jump headlong into Zoho Schools, like the ones you saw in the pictures. Some of them continue to do one foot on that and one leg here. They continue to straddle active development, active work, while also teaching in the evenings or weekends via remote video calls. The alumni strength. Many people underestimate the strength of the alumni. Most colleges, you see them, you live with them for 4 years, and then they are gone, they come back for the 25th year reunion. Here, every one of the students who have passed the portals wander around in the corridors. They are employees in the company. People from your school, people from your locality, people from your city, people from your family are all there, waiting to help, waiting to offer assistance. This is where the maximum learning really happens. Osmotic on the side. The syllabus is revised twice a year. One question we keep getting asked by applicants, what is the syllabus? What is the prescribed book? And we tell them, we actually are so proud when we tell them, if it is printed in a book, it is already obsolete because that is how fast technology is changing. That is how fast business needs are changing. We will constantly revise, we will continuously upgrade and update what we teach our students. So do not expect any commitment. All we can tell you is this is going to be interesting, this is going to be useful. In fact, you might have seen those 3 words that represent what Zoho Schools is. Contextual, relevant, experiential learning. They learn more of what they need and less of what they don't need. In fact, I had titled this talk, Teaching How to Learn, because that is the most important thing we want to impart to our children. If we can somehow teach them, this is how you need to learn, they will take care of themselves. They will surprise us with what they learn and how they learn it. It's truly connected learning. When you learn maths, you're not just learning maths. You will learn meaning of hard words in English. You will learn a philosophical lesson one day. You'll probably watch a movie clipping and learn a lesson for life. It's artificial that our school education system divided it into science and history and civics, and then science became divided into physics, chemistry and maths, and then physics got divided into various engineering. Artificial, not necessary. Philosophy is the love of learning. It's one unified wise piece up there in the cloud. We teach English, we don't teach grammar. How to communicate by writing, by speaking, how to listen, how to read. You don't choose a career, the career chooses you. All of those is available for you, but over time you gravitate towards one of them, and the manager or the senior employee understands your interest and tries to provide you an opening for your passion. We don't restrict the internet because we know you will find a way around it. Instead, if we can teach you a value system, what are wrongs, what are the rights, what is too much, what should be avoided, if we can teach you, if we can give you enough interesting stuff on the good side of things, why would you waste time on the bad side? Students freely mingle. You can't differentiate. When you look at a student, when you look at an employee, you can't tell them apart. You start by earning, not by paying. When you start earning, a sense of responsibility automatically comes. Otherwise, a student looks at himself and herself and says, I'm entitled, I'm paying. I go to a movie, I pay for the ticket, I get entertainment. Here I am paying for my education. What are you providing me? That changes to, I am being paid. What have I done to earn this? What have I done to deserve this? The game changes. Individual attention is given. Project-based recruitment happens. Interviews are abolished. You're not placed in a team because you did well, you dressed up well, 15 minutes you somehow bluffed your way through. You're given a long project. 15 days you're observed. How you react with your seniors, how you spend your free time, what kind of questions you ask. Are you shy to ask silly doubts? We observe all that. And that's how placement happens. Classrooms are flipped. Video lessons, you consume them at your own pace. Come to the classroom for discussions and debates, not for one-dimensional, one-way download of information that I can anyway find from Google. Mentors are available, seniors, employees, all willing to chip in one-on-one. It's self-paced. There are people who finish the stuff in 12 months. There are people who take a year and a half. You're welcome. Because the aim is to achieve mastery. Aim is not to finish a course. The family is genuinely interested. The faculty are interested. Managers are interested. Because most of the times, this is a place where they are getting a second chance. Something happened somewhere, there's a personal tragedy at life, some exam, they didn't do that last question in NEET and fell 1,000 ranks. That kind of Damocles sword evaluation doesn't happen here. So you're given the time to prepare and the time to bloom into a full-blown professional. Which is why we think, that's the 20th reason, this is an idea over time. This is no longer an experiment. We started it 20 years ago as an experiment. But today, it's an idea whose time has come and there's no stopping it. We are expanding. This is the 5th school we have opened up. We are now considering starting a 6th school within the campus. Let's see where it goes. And that's when Corona happened. Nobody expected this would come. Luckily, we had already identified our students for the next year by conducting exams in a monthly manner, and we had 150 students, 110 of whom had access to a computer and internet. So that's what we did. We said we will open irrespective of whether Corona ensures a lockdown or not. We will open the gates. We said welcome to Zoho, but come through your internet on your laptop or your phone. Zoho had amazing tools. Click is a communication tool, Connect is an intranet tool, there is mail, Meeting is a video conferencing tool, Showtime is a classroom training tool, and Learn is a self-paced Coursera-like teacher-student interaction tool. We had all of these already. So it was almost like we didn't even miss a heartbeat moving from a physical classroom to a completely digital remote classroom. That is a screen from Learn for you. These are all courses that we are conducting for our students. This is our intranet. This is how English is corrected. The teacher has posted a line anonymously, not quoting who made that mistake. All the other students chip in to correct it. This is one of my favorite pastimes. Here is me announcing it in the intranet chat box. I'm saying there's an event I have today. I don't want to be late for it. Can we have our class at 3:45? 25 students have piped in and said thumbs up. It looks like Facebook to many of you. But this is how we run our class. That's a video call. This is the English teacher conducting a class for 8 students. These are the statistics of a recent class I conducted. Look at the time I spent, look at the time the other students spent, look at the engagement, how many questions were asked. Because we went completely online, we were able to tap into the company network, the employees network. We were even able to invite guest lectures from outside. For example, the one on the left, far left, is a professor at IIT Madras. He wanted to do something with Zoho Schools, and we said, wow, please come. He's teaching advanced machine learning to the students today. The others are senior marketers. One of them is a researcher. They're all giving us guest lectures, which is worth their weight in gold because they are actual practitioners, not just theoreticians. And what tools do these students use? We have been using all these tools. What tools do these students use? Like Hermione, the time turner, there are classes that happen simultaneously. I know some students who actually sign up for both classes. One of them they attend live, the other they go and watch the video recorded session, and they act as if they are on both classes. That's the energy, that's the interest and enthusiasm they bring. It's infectious. We learn observing them. Why don't we look at 2 examples? I hope they're both here. Kushal and Nandini are students who are actually undergoing the training for the past 4 months since we opened in the month of May. I'm done with my presentation, so let me invite Kushal and Nandini, probably one after the other, to talk about their experience. Thank you.
Yeah. My name is Kushal and I'm from Chennai. I'll start by talking about myself. So I've been passionate about coding since class 9. And because of the same reason, after class 12th, I joined a computer science degree to pursue a career in computer science itself. But then after 1 year of my college was over, I realized that I didn't really learn anything that I was excited about like I was in school. So the only thing that we did was we used to we used to solve problems that we felt were most likely to come in the exams a few months later. And I wasn't looking forward to that. So I felt that I would be wasting the rest of my years over here if I continued this degree. So I took the decision of getting out of college and doing something else. And that was the time when I came across Zoho Schools, and it blew my mind. So like basically when I was applying for colleges after 12th, I wished that a place like this existed where we could learn new things and actually practically apply them without worrying about exams and completing the syllabus and all that. I've never been a fan of exams. So currently it has been like more than 4 months for me at Zoho Schools, and I've loved my time over here. The teachers have been very accommodative, and I've had the freedom of choosing the subjects that I like, and I'm learning them. The classes are very interactive. Like, it's not only the teacher who is speaking, the students given as much input as the teacher does, so it feels good. During the classes, we don't take questions from a notebook or from a textbook and just start solving them, but we get a chance to look at real world problems and we work on them. Sometimes our teachers also give references from movies and TV shows, and it's quite fun like that. So and suppose if we are studying about any theories, we are also taught about how they are actually used in real life applications. And I've not experienced much of that in my whole schooling and college time. And one more interesting thing about the faculty over here is that all of them have had experience of working in the field that they are teaching right now. And because of that, they've been able to give us a lot of insights into how the whole real world works. and it has helped a lot of us get our questions answered about
Over to you, Nandini.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So I'm Nandini and I'm from Hyderabad. And when I was in my 12th, I wasn't really happy with the whole education system. So I wanted to look for something that was different and taught relevant stuff. And one evening, I was sitting in my hall, and my mother came up to me and she handed me a newspaper article. And she said, I think this might just interest you. I said, okay. So I started reading the article, and it talked about a girl who was from Zoho Schools and was then leading a team in the company. And I was very interested. So I started researching on Google about Zoho Schools and came to know more about it. And within a matter of a few seconds or minutes, I applied for the exam that was supposed to be conducted in December last year. So I went to Chennai, gave my exam, and I got in. So I got in, and then in May we were told that it would like the whole school would open in the virtual mode, and I was very excited. So on 7th May we started our journey with Zoho Schools, and it has been great since day one. We were also offered another like we could also choose an elective this year because everything was virtual and you could basically manage your time on your own. And I chose, so I'm part of the School for Advanced Studies, and I chose business as my elective. So there are a lot of things going on in my classes, and it's great fun. So I remember this one incident that happened in my English class when I think the faculty member, there was some mispronunciation of a particular word. So after class, I just messaged him saying, is it okay if I correct you? And he said, yeah, of course it is, because I'm an eager learner, as the same way as you are. And I was so happy after I read that message because it just shows how everybody in Zoho Schools is an eager learner. And there is no, what do I say? There's no, like, if the same thing I would have done in my school, I would have been reprimanded for it for sure. And that was not something that I would really like. And yeah, that's basically how Zoho Schools is. And as Kushal said, we watch a lot of films. We have basically those are our assignments, and then we have collaborative assignments that we work on. So we have teamwork that's developed, and that's wonderful. So that's my whole experience.
Thank you, Nandini. Thank you for this opportunity. If you are interested in learning more about us, do Google for Zoho Schools or visit our website zohoschools.com. Thank you.